Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia, and I'm coming to you on Wednesday, the 28th of August, 2024, and I'm coming to you from the UK. I haven't filmed in a while because life has been busy. We've had visitors, we've had my son's 4th birthday, including a birthday party. My son is starting school in 2 weeks, so it's just a busy time of year somehow, which you wouldn't think, but yeah, that's where we are. But I did want to briefly check in with you guys and chat about some yarny progress. I've just had this random window of time open up. I'm not really sure how much time I have, but I thought I'll squeeze in a little episode. So yeah, let's keep it brief. Let's chat about what I have made. So, as you will be able to tell, I am wearing my Jethro cardigan, which is a pattern by Tanis of Tanis Fiber Arts. And as you can see, it is a crochet garment, and then you do the ribbing and edging and sleeves in, you knit them, so they're in stockinette and ribbing. I've talked about this project at length in my, I think, most recent episode. And yeah, I finished it. I'm going to take it off because it is not cardigan weather here in the UK today. We had a lovely, brief spell of autumn, and it does definitely feel autumnal. But yeah, it's quite warm now. This has literally just come off the blocking boards, so lots of ends, but they're all woven in. I just need to clip them, which I tend to do after I've blocked everything. But yeah, here's my Jethro. I probably could have gone up a size. It's funny, I just did the calculations and chose the size when I was quite tired and preparing for a trip. So my squares are perfect in terms of gauge. I probably could have chosen a bigger size. But yeah, it fits. And in a way I do like that I also kind of made the sleeves a little bit too tight. But I think that sort of, otherwise it would be very oversized and very, very baggy. And I feel like the slightly more fitted sleeves and everything just make it, I don't know, less librarian style. Does that make any sense whatsoever? I'm not sure it does, but I do like it. And also, this was a perfect scrap and stash busting project. I used, I think, 550 grams of yarn from stash. A lot of it being woolly knit and similar yarns. I used woolly knit bridge wool. I used whole super soft, some random yarn that I don't know where it came from. And I always held 2 strands a double to create about a DK weight. As you can see, different to the pattern, I just did single colored squares and then I joined them. And I'm just really happy to have used up some of this yarn as well, because I had a lot of really small cones. And yeah, I've used up a substantial amount of them. And the fit is really great because of the way you assemble it. It just doesn't fall off your shoulders, and I really like it. So I haven't really worn it yet because it's been quite warm, but it is done. I am quite excited about this, and I'm hoping this will be like the perfect home office cardigan when it gets colder, because my home office / yarn room is freezing, and this could just be sort of a cozy thing to have on my chair and throw over if it's really cold in the mornings. So that is one finished object. And then I wasn't sure if I showed you these with heels. I don't think I have, so I'll show them very, very briefly. I feel like I've been knitting on these forever. These are some socks out of Gusto wool, in their gradient range. I think that's Echoes, and I've forgotten the colorway number, but I did mention it on previous podcasts. And I think last time I was working on these, I had to do the heels. So I have now done my afterthought heels. I just used some Yarn Smith's solid sock yarn, and they are done. So yeah, another project off the needles. And yeah, I've sort of been hyper focused on the cardigan, but now I'm just in a weird sort of state of finishing things, which feels very strange. So I finished these. I finished a cardigan. I did start 2 new projects, I will admit that. But I have also picked up my nebula cardigan again, and dare I say, I've made some good progress. So this is my, not cardigan, it's a sweater. This is my nebula jumper, which is a pattern by Andrea Maury, Drea Renee Knits. And I am, of course, knitting this out of my handspun, which I am so excited about. Not sure if you can, oh yeah, you can tell. It's got a really pronounced high-low hem, which I think is so cute. I could see myself making several of these in the future. So I finished the front and back. I did all the joining and 3 needle bind-offs and all of that yesterday. I did do the 3 needle bind-off on the inside. The pattern has you do the line on the outside, which looked really good, but it just didn't look good with my yarn. So I ripped it out, which was a pain, and did it inside out for a more sort of subtle edge at the top. I did the neck ribbing, and I have started on the sleeve. And how beautiful is this yarn? I'm just so proud of it still. This is John Arbon Yarnadelic fiber, which I spun woolen style, 2-ply, long draw. The only thing I will say is the fit of this is lovely. I made it with less positive ease, but it still fits really nicely. It's just very, very cropped. And I know it's supposed to be cropped. It looks much more cropped on me than it does on the modeled photos. And I knew it was going to be too short, I think, when I split for the sleeves, but I just decided to trust the pattern, and maybe I shouldn't have. And also now, I was also not sure if I'd have enough yarn, which is also why I chose to crop it. And now that I know I have enough yarn, I'm a little bit miffed. And I could go in and make it longer, but I don't want to. But look at it. Hang on, can I show this to you? Really awkwardly. Yeah, can you see? I mean, the fit is so nice. I actually really love this. And you can make this with or without sleeves, and I will admit that even without the sleeves, even as a tee, I think it looks really, really nice. So I'm quite excited by this, and I think this may become a pattern that I just knit over and over again, because you could just use some sort of lighter weight, or even like a summer yarn, and just make it a tee, make a sort of thinner neckline, and it would be a really good t-shirt. And obviously it also looks nice as a sweater. As you can see, mine has some positive ease, but way less than the pattern does. So what I am planning to do is to make about 100 of these. I really want to make that massive oversized one as well. And I think for future ones, I will just make them a bit longer. I mean, it's not awful, but you can see it's definitely cropped. Which with a skirt or like high-waisted jeans, it could look really cute. It's just a bit more cropped than what I usually wear. But can you see, the fit is just lovely, isn't it? I really, really like it. Which is annoying because this is a bottom-up construction, which involved a lot of short rows. And then I always find it a bit fiddly if you then have to split for the sleeves and split for front and back and like all of these little bits. Sorry, my phone ran out of storage. But I was saying, I just find these kinds of constructions so much more fiddly. But yeah, I really do like this. So yeah, I think I'll be making more of these, and I'm really excited by this. It's just, I don't know what it is about the fit. Maybe I'm just making it up, but I really like it. I think if I make it a little bit longer, it will also really just suit my style and my body type and all of that. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it on because I love it, and I am really, really happy with this handspun, and it's just one of those projects that has worked out. So yeah. I was worried about running out of yarn because I only have 300 grams of this handspun, which I am knitting at about a DK weight gauge, I would say. But I basically just started the 3rd ball for the sleeve, so I'll definitely have enough to make long sleeves if I want to. I'm not sure if I do. But I might do like 3/4 length sleeves, because obviously this won't be like a deep in winter sweater. It'll be more of a layering piece. But yeah, knowing that, I could have made it longer, but hindsight is a sweet thing, isn't it? So yeah, nebula sweater. I love it. I made size 2, and I'll probably make size 3 next time I do it, but it just depends on your sort of desired positive ease. I think it depends on people. Some people make sweaters with something like, 30, 40 centimeters of positive ease, and that's just too much for me. But yeah, I could see the appeal of having this a little bit more spacious as well. So yeah, that is that. I could just talk about my nebula for a long time. But I have cast on some socks. So let's talk socks. This one looks like a mess. Let's clean it up a bit. I started 2 new pairs of socks. I started this sock, which I am just using a set of mini skeins to strap. So I'm making my own self-strapping in a way. And yes, I realized that this color stands out a lot, but I really like it, so I threw it in. And these mini skeins are from a club from Beehive Yarns. I was a member for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, and then I've paused it because I just had these mini skeins and I wasn't doing enough with them. But this is so fun. I'm just doing 8 row stripes with 5 colors. And once again, I've used the Yarn Smiths for a neutral cuff and heel. So I've just turned the heel. And these went really, really quickly. I started these when I was doing some GDPR mandatory training at work. Yeah, so that's where we are with those. I am doing a 3x1 rib, which I just think that always looks so nice. And this makes me want to own more mini skein sets to make more self-strapping socks, because I'm just really enjoying the progress. It just goes really quickly. And I am doing the clasped weft join, which I think I learned about from Louise Tilbrook. I believe she has a YouTube video on that, so do look that up if you're interested. And I'm sure otherwise there will be other people talking or teaching the clasped weft join, which I find really hard to say. So yeah, that is one sock project. And then I also started another pair of socks on 9-inch circulars. And if you've been watching for a long time, you'll know that every now and then I use these tiny needles and then I sort of stop using them again because they just drive me nuts and I can't get into it. And I really want to love them, and usually I don't. My hands just cramp up. But I have finally, because I realized I tried a couple of different ones that I had lying around. And I realized that what makes a massive difference for me is these Adi sock wanderers that have one like slightly longer needle. So there's a fair difference if you look at the 2 needles. And I only had these in 2.5 millimeters, which I do sometimes use for colorwork socks. So I used these when I was doing the colorwork cuff club for the colorwork part of it. And I finally bit the bullet and got myself one these for 2 millimeter, so it's US size 0. And I also chose the Adi lace, which have the red cable. And you know what? I really like them. I still feel like I'm faster with Magic Loop, but then because you're fiddling around with a cord, I'm not sure if I actually am or if it just feels faster. And these have been perfect meeting knitting. So I have a fair amount of Teams meetings, and every now and then it's the kinds of meetings where you just need to attend, but you don't need to take any notes or massively participate. This has been great. So the yarn that I'm using for this, I got this in a D-stash. This is Fine Fish Yarns. I've lost the tag. I don't remember what it's called. I'm not sure if she's still dyeing. I think this has been sat in someone's stash for a long time, but it's just really pretty with these little speckles. So yeah, another sock project on the go. And then lastly, I picked up a new hobby. because the other day I decided I want a wall full of embroidery hoops because I think it just looks really pretty. There's really pretty embroidery out there. And if you don't know, I hate cross stitch. I love the look of cross stitch. I really want to love being a cross stitcher, but I just don't. I just find it fiddly and my eyesight isn't great, and I don't know, something about cross stitch just doesn't appeal to me at all. But I decided to try my hand at embroidery. So I got myself 2 of these kits from Cotton Clara, which I'm not sponsored, just telling you what I'm doing. Because I thought they would look really pretty. I have recently sort of reshuffled some of the art that is on my office wall. And yeah, I saw these and I thought that would be perfect for my wall. So I am obsessed. I can't stop. I started this on Sunday, I believe, Sunday or Monday. And as you can see, I'm almost done. And yes, this is a very, very simple embroidery. It just uses backstitch. But because it's drawn on, it becomes really mindless. So I'm not sort of staring at these little crosses and counting and miscounting. It just takes that sort of process out of it. I can just, stitch and go along. And am I doing it perfectly? No. Does it look a bit messy on the back? Yes. But it doesn't matter. It's good enough. And yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I am. So I have indeed ordered myself another kit that is more difficult and has different types of stitches and French knots and all of that. And I will report back. I assume it will take a lot longer than this has, but doing this sort of thing while listening to an audiobook or a podcast has been really, really enjoyable. So yeah, you can do hard things. That is a new craft that I am dabbling in and I'm really enjoying it. And I thought this could be one of those, what do you call it? Not a process thing. Like I just wanted the finished product a lot. But I'm actually really enjoying the process. So yeah, happy days. So yeah, that is what we've been up to, what I've been up to. Like I mentioned, this is somehow a very busy time of our lives. My son has had his birthday. We had a house full of toddlers, or kiddos, I should say, and their parents. And of course, it was the one day when it rained nonstop. But we got through it, and the next day I woke up with a massive head cold. So I was like, oh, this could have been really bad. But in a way, it worked out okay. My sister was here, which was lovely. Getting ready for school. My work is strangely busy just because I'm covering for my boss, who is away for 3 weeks, which is quite stressful. But yeah, I've made sort of the halfway point now. So that's good. And yeah, our routine will be changing a bit from September, which I've mentioned in my last podcast, I believe. So we're just sort of, muddling through and seeing how that goes, I guess. So yeah, this is basically what I've been up to. I just wanted to check in with you briefly. I realized that this is yet another rushed podcast, but I think I just need to accept that this is sort of a busy stage of my life, and there will be different stages, and there probably will be stages when I can just, spend an afternoon getting ready for a podcast and have it beautifully set up and have, with makeup and taking my time and doing it beautifully and editing, but now is not that time, and yeah, let's just be real, life is too short. So yeah, that is basically all that I wanted to chat to you about. I'm going to try to enjoy the last, 10 minutes of quiet before my son and husband get back. Also, my voice is definitely still sort of feeling that sore throat. So I will let you guys go, but thank you so much for checking in today. Do let me know what you're working on, what your crafty adventures entail. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope that wherever you are in the world that you are safe and healthy and doing well, and ideally you have some lovely yarn to play with. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.